Buy a boat, they said. You fell into the hype and didn't do your research. Now you're stuck with a boat that isn't exactly what you want or need for your boating necessities. Boating isn't as simple as black and white. There's so many different boat styles and types that fit each person's needs. If you like spending your nights on the water, you don't go out and buy a speed catamaran. That's just not how things work. What's up guys, it's Life Offshore. If you like this video, drop a thumbs up and subscribe to me, it really helps me out. If you have any questions for me, follow me on Instagram at life.offshore and DM me. I'll answer you really quickly there. But now back to the video. So guys, before you buy a boat, this video might help you along. I'll start off with hidden cost. What I mean by that is all the extra cost that goes into boating that you might not know or know how expensive it can actually get. When deciding what boat you want, some key factors come into play for how much or how little you can expect to spend on maintenance. Normally, the bigger the boat, the more maintenance, because bigger boats have bigger engines and have multiple engines as well. A typical oil change on a single 300 is around $100 to $150 of labor without oil or filters included. I like to do my oil changes every 75 to 100 hours. Lower unit oil has to be changed as well. I do them every 50 hours so you can see how easily and how quickly it can add up. If you have a newer motor under warranty, then any breakages in the motor or engine should be covered by warranty. But if you buy a boat used, which is what I normally do, you have no warranty for the most part, unless it's a fairly new boat or motor. Everything that breaks or goes bad, you have to replace yourself. And trust me, a mechanic bill with parts and labors can easily reach $500 in a blink of an eye for something as simple as a bad starter on your engines that you need to get replaced. And let's not talk about the price a blown supercharger costs on a Verado. Let's talk fuel costs. If you have a boat with a pair of 300 outboards, you can expect to burn 25 to 30 gallons an hour of fuel, or about $90 an hour of fuel. So a day on the water can easily cost you $300 in gas alone. If you get an 18-foot boat with a 115 horsepower in the back, you can be very happy with fuel economy. But like they say, size matters. You might be happy with the fuel burn, but be very unhappy with how many people you can comfortably bring or how the boat rides when you have some real choppy seas. So sometimes there is drawbacks, pros and cons to buying a smaller boat or buying a bigger boat. But you can see how easily costs can sneak up on you at any given time. If you bust a lower unit and have to get it replaced, you can be looking at about $2,000 to $5,000 for your non-racing outboards. Anyways, if you get a bigger boat, you might need to upgrade your half-ton pickup truck because they might not be able to comfortably pull it. You don't want to be stressing out that engine or that truck. You know, some of these half-ton pickup trucks, they can only tow 5,000 to 6,000, 7,000 pounds. If you buy a really big boat, when you're filled up with fuel and trailer and this, they can easily reach 9,000 to 10,000 pounds. So now you'll need to upgrade your truck. That's another cost. That's something that you don't think about when either you're upgrading boats or if it's your first time buying a boat. Not every pickup truck can tow a big boat. Now that I briefly went over some of the costs that are associated with owning a boat, there's so many more, but I just wanted to give you guys an idea. Now, let's talk about Stylo Boats. In my opinion, the most well-rounded boat are center console bay boats. If you want a boat that is super versatile, you can fish, cruise, do water sports, dive, great performer, and much more, then go with a center console. Let's say you like to cruise and spend the night on the water or have some nice space under AC to get out of the sun, then you might want to look at a cruiser with a cabin. They allow you to cruise from location to location and have a nice cabin with AC where you can basically have a small living area. You can cook, sleep, shower, and essentially not have to go back on land as long as you have the necessary things to stay the night on the water. Now, if you like this type of boating but are a fan of fishing as well, then you can look into sport fishermen. These fishing machines allow you to get the best of both worlds, fishing and comfort. They have awesome cabin space, sleepability, and are arguably the best fishing designed boat that you can buy. Another option are some nice pilot house boats that can do what sport fishermen do but at a lower level. So they won't be as big nor as spacious, but they will be much less expensive and still give you the option to fish and get out of the sun. If you're into speed, then you go with a performance boat, obviously. They're tons of fun, but limited space for the size. For example, you can have a 47-foot speedboat and only be able to bring 6 to 8 people. Also, these boats are full of maintenance and things are always breaking. I mean, that's what happens when you run the boat so hard. It's just a recipe for things to break. One last boat I'll talk about is for the hardcore fishermen that like to fish intercoastal waters and very shallow waters. I'm talking inches of water. This angler needs a flats boat. They're very low maintenance, very fuel efficient, and are tons of fun to drive. Although some manufacturers are extremely expensive, there's some that make good boats for a much more affordable price. There's obviously many more styles of boats, and each style has more details, but that's my point. Make sure you do your research on the boat you like. I just gave you guys some of the boats and some of the popular designs. Now it's your job to do the research on the boat that you like the most before jumping into such a big commitment like buying a boat. Now, let's say you buy your boat already and you're about to take it on the water, or it's your first or second or third time taking it out already. These are some tips that I have for you. Number one is always remember to put your plug in. You don't want to be walking back towards your boat after you parked your truck and find your boat halfway underwater. Now you're scrambling and you're running back to your truck to try to get the boat on the trailer to put the plug in. I mean, it happens. Mistakes happen. You're having a bad day, you forget, you're rushing, whatever the case may be. But always try to have a checklist on things you do before you throw your boat in the water. Number 2, bring drinking water. Number 3 is probably my most essential tip to operating a vessel. Take it slow. Slow is fast, especially when you're in tight spaces like docking. The faster you're going, the less time you have to fix a mistake, and the harder it is to correct the mistake. Remember, when it comes to boating, mistakes will be made, but it's how you correct them that matters. So keep this in mind. Only go as fast as you're willing to hit the dock. And on that note, until next time, you could catch me offshore.